Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, June 9th, episode number 71. I don't know why I said it today after, probably not saying the episode number in quite some time, but I just kind of felt like, why don't I give a little bit of an update if you don't really read that much of the title in the episode or see the number in front of the episode. 71. I might do 100 next time, or whenever I do it next. Might be episode 100. I don't know. I might do it next week. Who knows? Should I just do it every week? Every time I drop an episode, do I say the episode number to help people remember what maybe when they last heard my voice or where they heard the conversation begin? Or maybe they want to bring up, remember when you said this in episode number blank or episode number blank? Like, maybe if I say the number and lead off into it, it'll jog their mind a bit, and then they'll be able to remember it, more than, a lot better than just, what was the title? What was the description? What is this? Where was that? Because if, I don't normally, title the episodes, what I actually speak about or what I am planning on talking about. I usually kind of try to make it not too obscure, not too, what is this about? To confuse people. I just I don't normally enjoy putting the title of the episode, this movie review, or this stuff, or my trip to wherever, or some experience that I had. I always try to make it something that either I said that's quotable, that could fit as a title. Maybe I talk about it the most part of the episode, and I'll put a little hint of what I will be speaking about in the episode, or maybe in the description of the episode, and I'll just put it like that. I don't know. It doesn't really get a whole lot of traction on the YouTube, I'll tell you that, because I'm not using keywords, because I'm not following the algorithm and the way they want you to use YouTube, so it doesn't help in that way. Maybe I should. What if I just totally simped out and just put an exclamation, capitalized letters and exclamation marks and, keywords and all that, and just totally put myself in the position to be put into the algorithm. That way YouTube has to promote it, right? Because it's technically in the algorithm, and I should be getting a lot of viewership, but, I'm not going to abide for that. I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to, I guess lower myself for that, because I don't know. I just feel like I don't need to do that. Maybe I should, though. Who knows? Maybe it's what's been hindering my podcasting career is because I'm not being an algorithm simp. But I don't even know if I'm allowed to say simp on YouTube anymore, actually. Normally I try not to swear or curse in the first 10 minutes of my episodes. That way, just in case at the blue moon, I do get a little green symbol, a little, monetization symbol that, hey, you're making money off of this, you're good to go. And then, because of YouTube's strict guidelines and YouTube's strict, their policies, things are not certainly allowed to be shown or said in, YouTube videos without, and it all kind of happened within the last maybe 3 years, I would say, since I started podcasting with Out of the Ordinary Friends back in the day. Whenever you would upload a video to YouTube, you'd have to be like, is this age appropriate, or is this video meant for kids? And you click, no, it's not meant for kids, I guess. What video is meant for kids? I don't know what that would even entitle. What video is made for kids? Is it just Coco Melon? Is it Barney? Is it fucking Teletubbies? See, I just swore right there. Done. Boom. Roasted. I'm not going to get any money from this. Not that I ever did. But that's down the drain. What defies a video that is made for kids? Is it just cartoons and like, I don't know, sing-alongs, musicals, dance video? I don't know. All I do know is some videos that I do play on YouTube on my phone, if I do like swipe down the video, it should keep playing. But apparently that's a mechanic on YouTube Kids, or videos that were made for kids in the description and all that. I wonder why that is. I wonder why YouTube made it a hard no on the mini player on YouTube on your phone or on your tablet. Like, why is that a no-no for kid videos? I have no idea. Do they want to try to suppress their brains to make it seem like they can only watch the video or listen to the video if it's like a song or something in full screen mode? Or is it like, YouTube trying to be invasive and be parents, and say, hey, this is not okay for the children. You gotta, let them take a little break after a while. No more iPad time. That's the worst though, right? Isn't that the worst? How modern day kids and modern day parents have totally, in my experience when I was a young lad, a young boy, they don't even have toys anymore. They have iPads. I was in the store one day and I saw a mother that was, not like mad at her kid, but like had her kid just totally not speaking at all. And the kid was maybe like, I don't know, 1.5, I think, 2. Dude had an iPad. Kid had an iPad. Full on iPad with, cased up and all that because he's a kid, he's going to throw the shit. I cursed again. And he was just watching like some kind of little kid game show or little kid game or something like that. And I'm just like, holy crap, like this poor kid should not be watching or using an iPad at this day and age. I mean, I can only imagine the blue light in those devices is not good for my eyes. Can you imagine 1.5-year-old kid eyes being exposed to that kind of blue light? I mean, I know, like, based on science and facts, like the blue light does damage over time to, adult eyes. It's in everything. Your phones, your tablets, your monitors, your TVs, everything has blue light. So imagine that kind of exposure, long-term exposure from iPads and all that on small children. What that could, lead to blindness maybe? Bad sight, probably not blindness, but like just bad sight, having to get glasses at a young age. That could be a thing that, could be possible. It's also like a thing like they expect now, right? Like I've been like to a lot of places and there's, family places like theme parks and just stores and movie theaters and stuff like that. And, just stores in general, the mall. And like the kid has 2 words that he knows at that age: iPad. I want iPad. Like, shoot, what about an action figure? What about a doll? What about a little toy race car? Like, the kid just no longer wants those things. Once you introduce them to iPad, and by the way, I have no children. I have no experience with child development, but I've seen what I've seen. And what I've seen is that it's addictive. And especially with like programs like CoComelon, which has been sort of proven that it's an addictive substance to children. I've seen this. I've heard about this. Something about the way it's made, the way the characters look, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on this podcast, but like the way that it's set up, designed, the sound, the characters and all that, it's made to literally capture and suck up the child's mind and make it obsessed over CoComelon. It's crazy. I guess it's just made to just hypnotize children now, to make them be quiet. That way their mother can, do some chores around the house or something like that, or do some work, or make some dinner, without the child just, crying all the time. I don't know. I kind of want to go back in time and like relive my babyhood to see how my mother and father, made me be quiet. I always imagined that it was just like, a pat on the back, playing with the kid, right? Throwing them up in the air, not shaking them, but like, making them like fly around, putting them on your shoulders, getting their toys, getting them a lullaby, little crib having fun, talking baby talk to them. I think babies really respond well to that. I mean, you can't just go up to the kid and be like, "What's up, kid? How's it going?" I mean, they wouldn't respond to you like properly. You got to be like, "Hey, goo goo gaga, how you doing?" Stuff like that. But yeah, kids, iPads, really, just technology really has just, I just feel like it's a bit much. It's too much. It just keeps advancing, and then like we in some ways get dumber. I'm not saying that the kid's going to be scarred for life, or that's going to just, kill their eyeballs, but like it can't be great. It just can't be great. And first it was, I remember back in the day, I had a couple relatives when they were younger. They were obsessed with iPad and iPhone games, and it used to be Clash of Clans, and then it was once Plants vs Zombies. Then it became Fortnite on your phone. Once you got Fortnite on the smartphone, man, I mean, that was it. That was it for like, not like little babies, but like maybe like a toddler, like 4 or 5, 6-year-olds. Fortnite on the phone, that's it. It's over. I mean, like the kid no longer wants to play, hopscotch, hide and seek, tag, dodgeball, kickball. That's over. They just want to play Fortnite. And they want to, be number one, get that victory royale in Fortnite. That's another reason why I just despise Fortnite so much. Is not only is it ruining everything pop culture in this, in this world that we live in, but it's also like just poisoning minds of kids. It just the way it looks, its apparel, it's colorful, it's got the newest, songs as emotes and, playlists, Marshmallow Guy, Travis Scott, other artists that, get along with it. And then it's got movies and TV show characters and pop culture things. It's just a big, play my thing and be freaking entertained and just brainwashed by all the shit that we have. It's like, wow, this can't be allowed, but it is allowed. And it's like, its success is just like, you could never have predicted it being this good. Does anybody know the original like origin of Fortnite, like what it was supposed to be before it was a battle royale and that was it? Wasn't it supposed to be like a zombie game or something like that, or like a horror game or like some kind of thing, and like it was going to be, it was supposed to be something more than just a battle royale. Like the battle royale was just like the free version of the game before like the full thing was going to come out. And then the battle royale got so popular, it's like, why even make the full version of the game? They just want this. That's all they want. Just keep the battle royale and make it, spoof it up every couple months, and then we're good. First we'll get Batman, then we'll get Darth Vader, and then that's it. It's over. Wrap it up. Curtains. We've won the world. Why even, try when you have something that, granted to them, they continue to change up the game in ways that keeps their players coming back and keeps new players coming. So like, kudos to them. They've figured out how to do business, the right way, I guess you could say, and, evolving, adapting to the new age, and really capitalizing on players' wallets through customization and skins. I mean, I never would have thought that so many people would have paid so much money for cosmetics and skins. Remember back in the day that was never really a thing in previous games, in previous like multiplayer shooter type games, or even the earliest battle royale games. Like skins weren't really a thing that you cared too much about. That was up until, like, I would say Fortnite's maybe the third, fourth year of operation, where they really dove into different character skins and customizations and stuff like that. And that kind of went into Warzone, and even games before that with, Halo kind of did that. And, now it's just unlocking characters and, operators and all that, and cool emotes and cool skins for your characters. And once they got rid of the loot boxes from Star Wars Battlefront 2, it's just like, let's just put up a damn store. Put up a store and no loot boxes, just the store. That's it. That way we can't be sued for gambling. Stuff like that. And then, what? As sure as hell, kids begged for their parents' credit card to be on there, and they put it on there, and they would buy every skin in the damn catalog, and boom, hooked, addicted, and then that's history. It's insane. It's insane. Like, we kind of think of it as skins and customization as almost like going to the mall and shopping for new clothes or a new outfit or a new hat or something like that, new shoes. Like, it's always cool to be in, like, a skin or a cosmetic that you identify with or that is cool to you. It's appealing to you and maybe only you. And you're like, you know what? I'll spend money for that because, look, they don't have much. I might as well just buy this one thing. And just multiply that with every other person that's kind of like you or in a way similar to you in that sort of, like, purchasing those skins. Like, they make so much money. I mean, just the release of Halo Infinite's multiplayer and their battle pass and the way that it was first, used and introduced, where you had to buy the battle pass, you could not, gain any of the currency through the battle pass. You had to buy everything. The cheapy skins that would come in for a couple days and leave after a couple days and maybe not show up again. You having to buy certain things because you just don't know when they're going to be back in the, and also to top it off, the stuff in the battle pass really isn't that much, that good. I mean, the battle pass is like $10 for like half a year. It's like, okay, whatever. This is nothing. This is chump change. I got to buy some new shit. But luckily for me, and I'm proud of this, I have not yet once, besides purchasing battle passes, have bought in any Halo Infinite skin or anything like that. Nothing. I'm proud of that because I've seen how they run that shit and how they run that store and how they could, you'll get like an armor coat, but it's just for one set of armor, or the armor or the coating is just for a weapon or a vehicle. It's like, bitch, that should be for everything. Why the hell are you restricting certain coatings to certain armors or certain weapons or stuff like that? It's just so, it's annoying, and it's like, really? Like, I'm just trying to look cool, man. And you're making it so hard and so much money just to look cool. It's a pretty price to look cool in games now, man. It's a pretty price. It's not cheap anymore. I remember back in Halo, up until Halo Infinite, you could customize your Spartan pretty much any way you wanted. The color palettes, the secondary color, first primary color, all that. The emblem maker where you can just make emblems the way you wanted to with different layers and all that. I remember the best emblem creator ever, and it's going to pain me to say this. It's going to pain me like hell to say this, but it was Call of Duty Black Ops 1 with their just like so many layers and so many shapes and things that you can just make anything that you want, from a car to a body part. And by golly, there was a lot of body parts on that game. And it truly was like a test of how artistic you are and how you could, make a couple circles and a couple, shapes look like a titty. And then you'd surprise your friends and be like, holy shit, that's pretty neat. Mind if I take a snapshot of that? Save that for later. But it was, very detailed. It was very, and people use their imaginations to benefit them, to make cool little emblems. And I remember the one that I made was pretty basic. It was like one of the basic pictures that they had. It was like a little spaceship type thing, but it had like a little a little like a trail after it. You know how like it'd be like a little smoke trail from like a jet or something like that in the sky. It was kind of like that, but it was like in a swoosh type motion. It was pretty cool. I was pretty proud of that. I'm like, this took a lot of, and it was like faded and all that, and it was a pretty cool color and a pretty good position. It wasn't super basic, and I was like, you know what? I spent like a good 15 minutes on this. I feel pretty happy about that. I'm proud of myself because of, I didn't create no titty, but like that shit, pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. And of course, like, you couldn't keep the titty up for that long because you get banned by Activision or something like that, or even Xbox, or have them censor it or tell you you can't, you keep that. You have to either make a new one or you're booted, or your account is put in like purgatory or something like that. It was a fun time. It was fun times where you can just kind of goof off and goof around on Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3. Man, those were the days. Those were absolutely the days. The summers where you could just play all day and all night and just have fun. And that was talking shit with your friends, playing fun games and game modes, creating new game modes with your friends if you're tired of multiplayer, and just having a blast. I would always remember, like, it would be a bunch of my friends doing LAN parties at people's places where we'd hook up our Xboxes and just play massive multiplayer games from Halo to COD. So much fun. That was the fun days. That was fun when you were a kid. When the internet was not the sole purpose of your fun. When you could just, we obviously use the internet to hook up with Xboxes, but like, not like surfing the web really on Twitter all that much, or on social media, Reddit, YouTube, you name it. It wasn't, our childhood was not based off of those really platforms, really. Like, we used Facebook, but just to like hook up and shit. Like, who wants to hang out here? Who wants to go do this? It wasn't like creating drama. That happened every once in a while, but it wasn't like its main purpose, or to, talk shit about people or stuff like that. It was never really its main purpose back then. It was always just to, plan things to have fun. And that's what we were about. We use the internet wisely, and we use it as a tool, not as our place of, entertainment. We used it as a tool to get around places, figure out things out. Can we get this? Can we buy that? Can we, maybe go here one day? Can we hang out at this person's place? That's where we use the internet for. And I'm not sure how it is like that today, if kids still use it like that, but I just know that back then there was no TikTok, no memes, none of that stuff. We could just sit on our asses, play Xbox all day, and have fun with it. Have fun and, eat pizza, drink soda pop. Quite a time to be alive. Quite a time to be alive. I mean, the memories that we had as kids, as high schoolers, and even into our early college days, when we would still do that. And even, later on, every once in a while. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. But that's just, the games don't feel as quite as beloved as they used to be. They just don't now. You ever look at games now and you feel like, why am I not loving this as much as I did when I was younger? I have the same friends. We still kind of play a lot, or a good bit of time is put into it, but the game just doesn't feel as good as it used to be. And I'm not going to spin off into some kind of, me against the gaming industry type thing. I'm not going to do that. I truly think that it's really hard to make new memories with video games when you're older, like myself, than when you were back then, because I feel like every game back then was, in a way, cutting edge from the previous game. They got better and better and better, and you kind of felt that, especially with like COD and all that. Like COD MW1, the original, back in like 2005, I think, or 6. Major improvement in 2007 Modern Warfare 2. And even in Black Ops, the Black Ops series, right? Major improvements throughout those too. New iterations, new ideas, new concepts, new gameplay modes, new ways you can play the game too, and it's just like innovating gaming. And I kind of feel like after Modern Warfare 2019, there hasn't been much innovation in terms of Call of Duties. And I feel like Call of Duty for the most part of this, I guess you can still call it the pandemic era, has really been like a concrete, game release throughout that time. You had Black Ops Cold War that came out during the pandemic. You had Call of Duty Vanguard that came out during the pandemic. And now you're getting Modern Warfare 2 coming out this year, in October. Those games have been coming out consistently during this pandemic. It's been one of the, the shining spots in gaming to keep that industry alive, because a lot of games have been delayed because of the pandemic. And I feel like with this one coming up, this new Modern Warfare, that I just saw the trailer for it, the cinematic trailer, and just the a little bit of details here and there about it, and what's going to be new about it, how it's going to have a new age of Call of Duty, for a new age of Call of Duty for the modern era. I'm excited. I really am. Not just because it's titled Modern Warfare 2, which, if you know me, Modern Warfare 2 is still probably tied for the best Call of Duty, my favorite, because Modern Warfare 2 2019 during the pandemic was amazing. Like, you can just play so much with your buds. If you were on lockdown or something like that, you can just play that game. And it was so much fun. And it got better and better, actually, throughout the pandemic. The Warzone was sick. The multiplayer was sick. It was just a lot of fun. And now I feel like with this one, the hype around this one, gamers have been pleading and begging for Call of Duty to get back to Modern Warfare. Because, not just because of the modernness of the game, and that's what we kind of resonate and want to play as, but Modern Warfare 2019 felt like a jump forward for Call of Duty. I know it was slower. I know it was the maps were kind of confusing for some people, because you can be literally shot from anywhere, because they kind of, broke away from the 3-lane map type of thing. And this is nerd talk, full central nerd talk. They kind of broke away from that, made some more dynamic maps that looked really good. It sounded really good. The gun sounds were just beefed up and sounded real, like actual guns. The animations were sick. The graphics were sick. The way it moved, it was so good. The sliding and all that. It wasn't super fast. It was a slower paced game, but just the power, the oomph behind the movement and the guns, and the audio involved, and everything that was just in that game just felt so upgraded from the previous Call of Duties. And then we went to Black Ops and then Vanguard, where I both stand there. They're air quotes new games, but they don't feel new. They don't seem new to me. They feel like a tread backwards. And hopefully with this one and the coming out in October this year, Modern Warfare 2, we can get back to that and get back to, a quality Call of Duty game that has a solid launch, few bugs, hopefully, and it's just fun. Good playlists, good multiplayer, good balancing, good matchmaking, good guns, which I've seen the videos, or not the videos, but the details on what's to come. I'm excited. I really am. I feel like I was excited for both, Vanguard, especially recently, because I didn't really care about Black Ops Cold War, to be honest with you. I was like, let's give it a shot. And we all, my friends and I kind of lasted maybe a month total playing that game together. After that, we just kind of went back to Modern Warfare. Maybe 2 months total, and give or take. But it wasn't that long of a playthrough, a game that lived its life that long. It just kind of came, was fun at the beginning, and then it just kind of drifted away. But yeah, I hope that this one's sick. I hope it's cool. It certainly looks pretty cool. I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer, it looks like it's going to be I think it's going to be in Mexico, maybe some cartel stuff, maybe South America. It didn't really say the location of the game, but I'm yeah, this could be sick. I'm down for this. It's kind of going in through that route where MW2 did with the, it was kind of taking place in Brazil as well as other places around the world. So it might be going for that kind of South American, Central American vibe of like, warfare and stuff like that with, again, like if it is Mexico, cartel's going to be in it for sure. That could be pretty cool. A cool environment to play in. And if they base the maps off of that, like what if they like did like the Warzone map in like some kind of like, Mexican city or something like that, or Mexican like metropolitan area, or like even like a couple villages in like a urban area, stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool too. Or maybe they go back to like, Russia and do like a Verdansk type thing, or maybe a desert map. That could be pretty cool too. I've only seen the trailer for it, and none of that is like really shown of like a war zone or anything like that. It's just kind of like mainly campaign, which I'm happy that there's going to be a campaign, because the last campaign for that game was pretty stellar, I have to admit. Being a fan of Call of Duty campaigns in the past, except for Vanguard's, which is basically unplayable because the cutscenes look great, but the actual missions are absolute dog shit. They're just unplayable. They're so boring, and I tapped out around like maybe halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway. Black Ops was cool. It was trippy, and I'm like, okay, I'm here for the trip. It's Black Ops. I'm cool with that. Yeah, but Modern Warfare 2019, man, that was a great campaign. One of my favorite campaigns still from Call of Duty is the Call of Duty World War II back in like I think 2015, 2016. That one was one of the better ones I've played. It was so good. The story in that campaign is so sick. If you haven't played it, you should definitely check it out. It's worth the playthrough. I'll say that. But that's all with the nerd talk. I'm done with the nerd talk. I've been getting into arguments with my friends. I like to make fun of my friends. I like to call them nerds just because I feel like I'm not as nerdy as them. I don't think I'm a nerd at all, but I feel like sometimes my friends can be super nerdy, and I don't hate them. I just kind of get like can we just please stop talking about this crap? And it's usually stuff that I don't like. So I just kind of result to saying nerd. I know it's kind of mean, but it's just a quick little, it's a stupid impulse. It's very dumb. It's silly, but in the moment when I'm like feeling myself, I'm like, oh, you're a nerd. And I just like to, hit them hard with that, you nerd, and really give it to them because they hate it. And they're like, no, Alex, you're a nerd too. I'm like, bitch, prove it. With what? Like, you like aviation. Like, so? That's cool. Again, very stupid, but it's just kind of like the banter that we have with my friends. Actually, before I get off the game stuff, like I said, there hasn't been a lot of games released lately. So I have been absolutely bored on my Xbox Series X. And I mean like excruciatingly bored. Incredibly bored. So I was on Twitter a couple days ago, and I saw a tweet from the Xbox support account on Twitter. And this might have been a thing for a long, long time, but this is my first time seeing it. Like, the tweet was essentially, I'm paraphrasing what it was, but it was a tweet about making an avatar. Like, this is how you make an avatar on the Xbox Series X. And I was thinking to myself, holy shit, I remember I made an avatar for my Xbox 360. And in the Xbox One, that transferred over. But it wasn't really, like, heavily pushed during the Xbox One days. That kind of, like, was, like, getting lost in the dust, lost in the sand. Kind of moving away from that type of stuff. But I saw this, in 2022, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make an Xbox Series X 2022 avatar. So I go to the feature, I make my avatar, and it's pretty detailed. If you don't know what an avatar is, it's like an Xbox cartoon version of yourself where you can dress yourself up in, like, whatever you want, whatever you please. Shirts, you can, create your face, your hair, your nose, ears, lips, mouth, jaw, chin. It's gotten pretty detailed as time's gone by. You can even buy shit. Like if there's like a shirt that you want that isn't like a default one, you can buy one, which I've never done and I'm never gonna do because that's silly. But they had what I wanted. They had a white suit with a white tie with white white undershirt, with white pants, with white shoes, with white gloves, with a white fedora, and white glasses. That's all me. The reason I do that is because I feel like that's what I would wear if I lived in Miami. I would just be all white. I would be white Alex. Have you ever seen like Miami Vice or Ned's Declassified? You get that Miami vibe. And you're like, what do you mean Ned's Declassified, Alex? Well, if you do know this, deep cut here, Vice Principal Krebs wanted to be a Miami Vice cop, and he dresses in all white, white pants, white suit. And I'm like, why is he like that? And he's always got that music behind him when he, shows up like he's in an 80s cop show. Well, I was rewatching it a month ago or so, and he brought up like, I always wanted to be a Miami Vice cop. That's why I dressed like this or something like that. And that's always why his office had like palm trees and had neon, blue and pink colors. And I'm like, oh, it makes sense. He wanted to be a Miami Vice cop in South Beach. So that's why I pick white when I'm ever in like a game where I can do that. It's like, I'm going to pretend like I'm in South Beach, Miami and have some fun. Stuff like that. I don't know. I just like that color. It's white clothes, pretty sick. You look pretty cool. But that was just because I was so damn bored. And I couldn't stand it. I was so bored. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm tired of Jurassic Park. I'm tired of Call of Duty. I'm tired of Halo. I'm going to make an avatar for my Xbox Series X. And I did it. And it took me like 15 minutes. And I'm like, all right, that was kind of a waste of time, but now I'm no longer bored. And I just walked away. I'm like, all right, I'm done here. All right, that's it. I promise. No more nerd shit. On to non-nerd stuff for the rest of this program. Speaking of which, I guess you can call me a nerd for this, but I was with my family, so joke's on you. I went to see Top Gun again this past weekend, twice in fact. And by the way, that movie is still an 11 out of 10. Even more so. I actually teared up my third time watching it at a specific scene, which I won't spoil. But I'm like, holy shit, why am I like tearing up here now? I didn't even do that my first time. But I guess it was just like I knew what was going to happen. I was just kind of waiting for that to soak in, and I let it soak in. I'm like, oh shit, my eye's itching, stuff like that. But, and I was almost going to be, it might have almost been a bad showing too, because in like one of the first scenes of the movie, we get a loud laugher in the theater. And if you don't know this, a loud laugher, he can be drowned out quite a bit, but if you're sitting pretty close to him, he's pretty much going to be a problem the entire showing of the movie. And what I mean by loud laugher is like there's an occasional joke or a quip in a movie, and everybody kind of laughs at a normal rate. We all kind of know like where we are in a movie theater, and just kind of like gotta be polite. Can't be a fool. Can't make a fool of yourself. Be tamed. You're in the public. You are in a theater with like 100 or over 100 people next to you. Like this is like as like in the public as you can get. Maybe not like a city, open city, but like these people are going to know you by the end of the day if you do something stupid, right? Got to be careful with that. And all of a sudden he's just like loud laugh, just like like loudly. And I'm like, "Oh no. What on earth?" You kind of you perk up out of your seat and you try to you put your hand over your eyebrows. You're looking at the sun like, where is this guy? Who is he? I need to identify this guy. But thank God that there wasn't too many funny things in this movie, because I only heard him a couple times. But that could have been a really, really bad thing if this guy just became like, just a loud laugher the entire thing. Thankfully, Top Gun's a very, a pretty loud movie, especially in IMAX, that it could be drowned out. But, yeah, dodged a bullet there. That could have been bad. I was very concerned. I was like, and everybody kind of knew it too. Everybody in my house was like, who's this guy? Like, checking him out, like, oh, shoot, is this going to be a problem here? Thankfully, it didn't happen that many times, because that would have been bad. I mean, like, it's kind of my fault because, like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have experienced that if I hadn't gone to the movies 3 times within the past 2 weeks. I mean, I'm gonna go again this weekend to see Jurassic World. If that's any good too. By the way, like, I've just kind of been pondering that stupid movie because I've seen Top Gun so many times in the past few weeks, 3 to be exact, and I am so like I'm a big fan of Jurassic as a franchise. And by a franchise, I mean 2 movies, maybe 3. I like Jurassic Park. It's a classic. I saw it in my mother's womb before I was born. I felt it. I didn't see it, but I felt it. And I solely put that on my love of dinosaurs and my love of that franchise because I was in my mother's womb when I felt it and she watched it. And you know how scientists like to say that the child and the mother are like bonded together. Well, I was bonded with her eyes when she saw that movie when she was pregnant with me. So, I mean, does that date me? Yes. Do I care? No. But I have a special connection with that movie because of that. And I even before I was born, right? My dad was in the hospital room watching preseason football. That's why I like football. I also just like football because it's great. But like I'm gonna put that, to my origin story of why I am the way I am. It just sounds better. It makes a better character movie. Sorry. But I'm so like confused of what this new movie, Jurassic World Dominion, is going to be all about. Truly, truly am, because I've seen every trailer, right? I've seen every trailer. I've seen it multiple times because of, seen Top Gun. I've seen every single thing that they put out for it. And all I can pick out is that dinosaurs are unleashed onto the earth and we're now being attacked by them. Like, for some reason, they're just attacking people, and I guess we can't stop them. So, what do? Well, we got Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, the clone chick from the Fallen Kingdom, and a couple new people, and the old cast. And I'm thinking, like, wait a sec, why are we calling the old cast back to, I assume, fight the dinosaurs? Like, is Alan Grant going to throw hands with a velociraptor or calm it down? Is Jeff Goldblum going to torch a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Is Laura Dern going to slam a door shut on a velociraptor snout? Like, what's going to happen here? Are the kids going to come back from the first one? Is Lex and Tim going to make an appearance? Like, I don't know. Like, and it kind of like, it puzzles me because I'm getting like flashbacks and not good flashbacks of a little movie that I saw in 2019 that totally just like ruined my entire experience with this franchise. And that was Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And I've said this from the minute I saw the Dominion trailer. The first one, in fact. Because that one was like super sappy. If you didn't see it, it was like super, pulling on the heartstrings of your nostalgia and what you like about Jurassic as a franchise. Dinosaurs, wonder, discovery, nostalgia with, Dr. Grant and those boys and InGen and what, all, of course, all the, the story building up to this movie. And it was all sappy. And it was like, oh, this is sick. It's got good music. It's got a good rendition of the Jurassic Park theme, all epic and shit. There's motorcycles, dinosaurs. Blue is back, with Chris Pratt. Blue has had a kid. It's not a spoiler. And, they're going to go team up, I guess. Blue and the gang. And then you're thinking like, well, this could be fun. This could be sick. That the first trailer looks pretty cool. It's tugging on the heartstrings, which is what Rise of Skywalker did for me back in 2019 and 18. And then the second one comes out, and you're like, what is this all about? I get that they're back. They're trying to stop the dinosaurs from, I guess, killing every human? Or waging war against humanity? Or just, taking up space on the planet? Like, what are we doing here? And then, you never really get any plot details about this. You just kind of, forced to look at Chris Pratt and all these guys team up, snippets of them teaming up, them fighting each other and stuff like that, and just dinosaurs roaming across the planet. And then all of a sudden, at the very end, just fighting some gigantic dinosaur, I guess, as a team. Like, you see shots of like a giant dinosaur that's roaring, and then the entire cast just like looking like they're gonna punch it to death. I mean, like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, I am so terrified and worried that this might be like one of the worst movies I've ever seen, just because I literally have no idea what's going to happen. No idea whatsoever. And that to me is just like, I mean, I'm not going in with high expectations. I know, I potentially believe that this will absolutely suck ass, but I have to see it anyway, because I don't want to be spoiled on a movie that I've spent my life, a franchise that I've spent my life, my childhood thinking about, to just be, read about it online. I want to go see it and totally be shocked of how bad it is. And I haven't been hearing very good things either. There's been a couple reviews out there, a couple reactions up to this date, and they don't seem very good. They don't seem very positive. I mean, talk about having positive vibes only in me. I want to see this. I want it to be cool. I want it to be good. I want it to be worth it. But everything points to it's not going to be that great. It's going to be, I've been hearing this a lot. This specific line a couple times. The magic is gone. And I'm like, oh no. I think the magic's been gone since Fallen Kingdom, but okay. Maybe even World. If you think about it, World is just, while it's fun, it's very enjoyable. It's just Jurassic Park, but with a working park. That's all it is. I mean, this trilogy is kind of like the Star Wars trilogy, if you think about it. I mean, you get one that's pretty much the first movie. You get two that's completely different. And for the looks of it, three that is trying to, bundle up what happened in the second, the middle part of the trilogy, and kind of, hopefully put a stick of landing to this story that's being told in Jurassic World. Now, I think because Colin Trevorrow is, directing it, that it might feel more completed and more, connective tissue and all that for it to work as a finale for this trilogy. Having said that, do I still think it's going to be a good movie? Absolutely not. I do not whatsoever. I'm actually kind of scared to watch it. Not like because I'm going to be, scared of the dinosaurs. No, I fear like when these movies come out and when, people, the creators aren't really fully behind on it with the story and the characters and the build up and all that. And does it really make sense? People start to half-ass things. You get stupid jokes that should not be in the movie that are just there so you can forget about the plot. And if it's going to be any good. If it makes any sense. Is it even, like, plausible? Is it plausible in this world of Jurassic? Can this happen? Or is it just absolutely like, what the fuck? This is just batshit crazy. Like, who thought of this? Why is this a thing? I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at right now with this movie. Again, I don't expect much, if anything, from this. I really don't. But I have to see it. If I'm going to see it, I'm going to see it on the biggest screen I can find. That's right. I'm going to spend the money to see it in IMAX because I just need to see it. Right? This is a landmark in my childhood. But I just got to see it. And put it in. For me, if I have to put this franchise to bed and these movies to bed right in there in the theaters where it all started when I was an infant, not even an infant, a fetus in the womb, to where I am now, I will be happy to do that and put it to bed in that theater this weekend. I mean, I will happily say that this movie's garbage if it is. If I don't think it is, then I'll be like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Again, this hasn't been viewed yet by the general public. So we'll see what we've heard critics talk and, early screening people, speak. But, like, let's wait till we see what the GP says, if they think it's trash or not. Like, it could be okay. It could be okay. I don't think it will, though. Just because, I can't get a read on that trailer. These trailers just, I don't know. Like, it just seems like it's going to be overstuffed with stuff that is not going to lead up to anything. It's just like, let's just get out of this before we make even a bigger mess. I think this movie is going to do pretty well in theaters. Probably finally beat, it will beat Top Gun this weekend for sure. But the question is by how much? Or will Top Gun still be kicking? Because Top Gun, man, I mean, say what you will about Top Gun. You can be a hater or a lover. I'm a lover. And this movie, man, has been crushing the box office. And I don't think it's just by promotion, marketing, but it's been by word of mouth. Like, I went with my family this weekend, and they loved it. I did not expect that. I thought that they would at least like it, but they loved it. And that's what I've been telling people, like, dude, this movie is just a fun movie. Like, it's just a great movie. Like, it's one of the best movies you'll see that's, like, doesn't need really a expanded universe, a expanded story to get people to go see it. It's just that good. And right now it's made nearly $600 million worldwide. So, and it passed over 300 million in the domestic. So I predicted it wrong. I said it would make less than 200 million, or 300 million in domestic. But there we go. I'm wrong, and I'm so happy to be wrong because this movie is sick. This movie is so good, and it's not just great. It just makes it's just very crowd pleasing. Every theater that I went to has had people smiling, laughing, edge of their seat action, suspense, joyful moments, sad moments, and then up to, like, sheer fist pumping moments. Like, this movie is so crowd pleasing, and it just makes people happy. That's why I've realized that everybody who sees it and everybody after they see it is just so happy that they just saw that. It's really, like, simple to put it. This movie is just, it makes you happy. If you're, a dullard person that doesn't like happiness or fun, then sure, this isn't for you. But if you're looking for that, I can only recommend Top Gun Maverick. Truly, I really can't. Nothing has made me this happy this year, and even maybe most of last year. I mean, No Way Home was amazing, don't get me wrong, but, like, that has so much build up and, time invested to that. And like I said, it's amazing. That's great. But for this movie to do what it did, and to, like, literally make people walk out of that theater, like, just, like, you can tell on their faces when you leave, like, they're just, like, they were so happy what they just saw. And from, like, the music, the acting, the characters, the plot, the setup, the moments, the music in the movie, it's an ensemble of happiness and just proudness, and, like, you just want to pump your fist in the air in this entire movie. So I think if I could recommend one movie this weekend, it'd be the better movie, and that better movie is Top Gun Maverick. I'm going to see Jurassic World for sure. But if, like, you're going to be discouraged by, if you're worried about it and you're like, should I spend money? I'm going to do it anyway. But if you aren't, probably better off seeing Top Gun Maverick if you haven't seen it yet. If you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick yet, see it this weekend in the biggest screen you can, because it might not be there for that much longer. I recommend IMAX. I feel like it's 100% worth it. 100% worth it. Moving on, though. I want to talk a little bit about sports before we get out of here. And this is not really going to be something I usually talk about, ever. It's going to be about golf. And I rarely ever watch golf. Like, ever. But there's been a lot of big news happening this week about the golf and the PGA and the new LIV Golf League, which is funded by Saudi Arabia, or the Saudis in Saudi Arabia. It's a new league. It's it's got a bunch of teams with a bunch of high-end players in not only America but all over the world in golf. Just to name a few, Phil Mickelson has signed on to be a part of that. Dustin Johnson has. Sergio Garcia, I believe. And it seems like what I've heard is that the PGA has said, like, if you sign on to do the LIV, golf tournament, we no longer want you in the PGA. So I mean, like, this is like do or die for these people. Like, this is like you sign up, you're in for it, or you're gonna bust. I mean, I'm sure like if LIV Golf League doesn't, it's not strong enough, right? If no one watches it, then it might, just disintegrate. But if people watch it and people, it becomes like a big thing, then the PGA might be done. It might be done. But we all know why these golfers signed on for it. There's been posts of like golfers that are like, were heartbroken, where, this took a lot of time for us my family and I to decide this to leave the PGA Tour. No, it didn't. They're paying the LIV Golf Tournament is paying these golfers so much money to play in this league. It's insane. Like, there's a couple other things that like have been said about it, how it's going to be different from the PGA Tour. Basically there's like 4 golfers on every team and all that. I don't get how that works, but like the gist of it is like they went for it because of the money, and the Saudis are able to pay them a ton of money. And I'm not going to get political of how they get their money, or how, what the Saudi people of the Saudi government, or, it's being backed by the Saudis, what that, means, that they're kind of like, morally, how are they getting this money? They don't, I mean, come on. I mean, if it's going to be millions and millions of dollars, you're not going to say a word. You're just not. Or you're going to make up like a reason for why you joined that league anyway. So I guess like what's kind of crazy is the PGA dead? What's going to happen with that? Who's going to want to play for that? Is this how we get a bunch of new age golfers to take, charge of the PGA and to really make it what it is and make a new generation of new golfers? How does this work? Where can I watch LIV? Is it going to be televised on national TV in the US? Like, how's this going to work? I would assume like maybe not, because it's going to be, I know it's not going to be in Saudi Arabia, but it's going to be like under Saudi, I guess, TV, maybe international TV, maybe. So I would assume that I would not be able to watch it as easy as like the US Open or the Masters. That's just my dumb idiot non-golfer fan brain working. I have no idea. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it could be cool. I mean, they have some pretty cool teams. Like, they have like the Aces, the Punch, I think, is one. The High Flyers, which is Phil's team. That could be cool. I mean, like, it hasn't really made a huge pop like on social media yet, except for just like the news of what they're getting paid. But like as far as like the account of the league and the teams, the respected teams, like, it hasn't really made a big punch in like getting, I guess, like people wanting to watch it. People are just right now like just like, oh shit, like these guys just packed up and left, like without even thinking. It almost kind of reminds me of like the European Super League back in last year, when like people were just like, big clubs like Manchester United and Chelsea and Real Madrid were just like, yeah, we're done with this. We're packing up and we're leaving. And they said that like, like without even any like breaking news to the fans, just like, oh yeah, we're leaving. But then of course that all reversed itself, and they stayed in their respected leagues, and the Super League was dead. Don't think that there's that much pushback here with the LIV Golf Tournament or LIV Golf League. This might be here to stay. Again, unless it makes little to no money in viewership, and then it just kind of like fizzles away. I don't think that will happen as quick as people might think, but I could be wrong. This might be a new era of golf for LIV. Might be a new interesting way to see how golf could be competitive, how they might change golf, to compete or to make it more appealing to people. I don't know. I truly don't know. It's brand new. It's a brand new thing. I don't know when it starts. I would assume maybe sooner rather than later. Just so you can make a quick dollar. Quick dollar back. But we'll see. I do think it could be, I guess, interesting to see like the best golfers compete on a, I guess, like tournament to tournament basis against each other. But, I just feel like at this moment it's a little bit too early to judge, and it could be cool. It could be cool. But I guess I need to talk to somebody who's like an actual golfer and like a golfing fan and what they think of it, or maybe see what other people are saying. I mean, Tiger Woods has not signed up for any of these teams yet, so if he does, like, what happens now? Like, I know a ton of people and a ton of like people who just like they love Tiger Woods and just like tune in because of Tiger Woods. Imagine if there was no Tiger. Like, even when he's injured and all that and, hurt and stuff like that, and he's not even playing, like, there's just a big lack of excitement at these tournaments. Imagine if he left them forever. Like, there's no more Tiger at the Masters, or no more Tiger at the U.S. Open. He's now playing in the LIV Open or the LIV Masters or whatever. That could be a big blow to sports culture in America. Phil Mickelson just left. Like, he's gone. Dustin Johnson's gone. Like, that, he was a big up-and-comer. Like, that, I mean, again, I'm no expert in golf or a fan of, like, that big of a fan of golfers or golf in general, but, like, I'm curious to how this is going to pan out. I really am, because I don't know how it is. It could be sick. It could be. Also could be bad. And one last thing before we go, just want to let you all know that I appreciate you guys listening and watching the podcast. A couple of you have left some, said some things that I've set up and brought them up into real life from the podcast, and I always enjoy that. I always enjoy when people say that I was listening to you, and I'm like, yes, thank you for listening. I just want to get it out there. Like, I appreciate y'all for sticking with me and listening and hopefully enjoying it as to best of my ability, because I love doing this. It's a lot of fun. It warms my heart when I get those, hey, I listened to you. It feels nice. It feels good. It makes me, be like, yeah, I like this. But again, yeah, thank you for listening, people. Thank you for watching as well. And remember, you can find this podcast on every podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, even on YouTube, at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. The episodes drop every Thursday morning. And tell your friends, tell your family, share the video, like the video, rate the podcast, review the podcast, give it a star rating if you haven't. Tell someone you love to listen to my show. If you enjoy having fun and enjoy stupid takes, and if you enjoy just talking about random stuff and nothing really serious about it, and no serious talk really, no politics, then this might be the show for that person, and get them on board. If you guys have any requests, questions, or topics you want me to cover, you could all check the descriptions on every episode of the podcast. It has all my social media handles where you could DM me, message me, maybe even give me some feedback. That's always appreciated. And yeah, again, thank you for listening and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys back next week.